Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
We got
It's
so
good
much.
to be back.
We got so much to get into.
Let's
here,
get
okay?
into it.
The first 4 episodes of the final season of Stranger Things premiered last week, and it literally crashed Netflix.
Oh, it did, right?
Yes.
It's crazy.
You broke Netflix for a little bit, yeah. It's already been streamed 60 million times and was #1 in 90 countries.
Wow.
Not bad. I read somewhere that you said that you feel like Hannah Montana.
I do,
right now.
I do, because
What have the past few weeks been like?
my friends always call me Hannah Montana because I also go to school in the middle of this. I'm a senior in college, actually.
Hey!
And during this past press tour, I was like, I was stayed in school, but I went remote, so I would leave these premieres with all these screaming fans, and then I'd hop in the car, I'd get on my Zoom in my suit, and be like, "Hi, I'm sorry I'm late for class. I was just at a premiere."
And
like,
do both.
it's just the craziest. Like, it is kind of Hannah Montana. Yeah.
That's hilarious, because you're out there, all these screaming fans, you're wearing like these
And
nice...
the teacher does not. She's like, "Noah, you're late. Your work was late."
Yeah, you got to do it, yeah. I know the cast is really tight. You guys always post photos of you guys together.
Yes.
Do people freak out when they see you all together?
Yeah, it's definitely, when we're all together, it's kind of insanity. But I will say, actually, when I'm alone, I've been getting Harry Potter the past few years. It happened 3 times last year, which has never happened to me before. And it's funny because
People think you're Harry Potter?
yeah, they'll come up to me and they'll be like, "I love your show, thank you." And I'm like, "Thank you so much, I appreciate the support." And then they're like, I adore Harry Potter. I love the character." And I'm like, "Oh, wrong franchise."
Yeah.
But it's...
There are some similarities, to Stranger Things and Harry
Yes,
Potter this
yeah.
season.
There's a little The Boy Who Lived, Zombie Boy kind of parallels.
Yeah. Let's talk about what happened in season 5. We're going to get into some spoilers right here. Sorry.
Oh.
No, I'm sorry. We're going to have
Wait,
to.
people came here and haven't seen it yet?
No, yeah. That one guy has not seen it. Plug your ears, sir. Or
Close your eyes.
security, we can have him removed.
Yeah,
and,
get him out.
get him out. And then we'll bring you back for the next segment. But if you haven't seen Volume 1 yet, maybe pause this, watch it, and then watch the rest of this interview. Because we have to talk. And it begins now. Let's talk about what happened. Okay. Oh my gosh! It was unbelievable!
Oh, thank you.
That was the best ending. I was freaking out, but all right, I want to ask you, let's start here. Let's start at the beginning of Volume 1. Okay, because it starts with young Will.
Yeah.
And it looked like you from 10 years ago. How did you do that?
It's cool because I for the first time I got to kind of step into the director shoes that I've always wanted to try out, and the Duffers were very kind of willing to let me work, and they were like, "Okay, it's up to you, figure it out with the kid." And I was like, "Oh, I don't know how to direct." Like,
so I have a kid that looks like you 10 years ago?
But yeah, it was like little kid who was my height, like my stature, and I was like, "Oh wow, like it's been 10 years." Like that moment was like, "Oh, like we've come far."
Yeah.
But he was adorable. He's the cutest little kid. And there's another young Will.
And you have to teach him, like, well, like...
Yeah, I was like, okay, so how did I breathe? Like, the eyes are everything with Will, so I was trying to explain to him, like, the big eyes, and then I had to go in a tent, and the Duffers were like, okay, so just sit here and pretend like you're running from a Demogorgon, and then it's roaring, and I'm, like, in my jeans and a T-shirt, and I'm like... Like, it's so awkward sometimes.
Wait, so they use your face capture?
And then, yeah, so then they take that and then they stamp it onto this little boy. Wow. It's crazy, but
it's amazing how they do that.
The kid was adorable.
Oh, and then, can we talk about the end of episode 4?
Let's chat.
Yeah, everyone, yeah. This is, there's a giant battle going on with the Demogorgons, okay? And it looks like they're gonna win. And honestly, I gotta tell you, I watched it last night. Because I'm watching it with my daughter, and we're caught up to 3, but we didn't watch the 4th one. And everyone's like, "You gotta watch the 4th one. You haven't seen the 4th. You're gonna freak out." And I'm like, "Oh no,
That's what they told me before I read the scripts, and I also like freaked out when I read it.
I was, I thought you were gonna die.
Really?
I felt sad. Yeah. I go, "Oh my God, this can't happen. He's my favorite.
I don't know.
I
if
love
it
him."
was.
And I see you as Will, but I also see you as Noah, too, because I love you. And I go, I don't want him to, and I already told my kids how great you are as a person. I go, we love him. I go, so, and it's happening. I go, and you're struggling. By the way, amazing acting.
Thank you.
Great job.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Great job. The whole season.
Thank you.
You're always great. And then it looks like they're about to, the Demogorgons are about to win, but then we find out Will has powers.
I remember reading that I remember like people texting me before that script dropped, and they were like, "Noah, you have to read the scripts." And I was like, "Oh, whatever. Like it's another season of," and I was like, "It's fine. I'll read at the table read." And then I was like, more people started texting me, and I was like, "Okay, maybe like I should read this before the table read." And I was like, "Oh, but I don't want to spoil it. I want to read it live there." And I was like, "You know what? I'm in the shower. It's right before we leave, and I'm like, I'm just gonna read it. I need to see what they're talking about." So I skim. I get to the end of 4. And it's, that big reveal. And I was like, oh my God! I was living with my assistant, Brooke, at the time. I burst out of the shower, like half naked. I was like, Brooke, read that last page. And she was like, a trail of blood. You have powers! Yeah! And we were literally like, I was half naked. We're sitting there. We have to go. We're 15 minutes late. And we're like, oh my God, I have powers! Like jumping around the apartment. We're like, we're late. We gotta go. Like,
oh my gosh.
Oh my! Like I had the same reaction as like a fan of the show.
We went nuts. I screamed in my living room. Me and my daughter were like,
some of those reaction videos, like, oh my, give me life. Like, it is so fun to watch.
Oh, really? So if you haven't seen it, if you're watching this and you're like, wait, and you've made it through the spoiler, if you haven't seen it, videotape yourself watching.
Yeah, I had so many. I was like, specifically didn't spoil it to my friends this season because I was like, guys, I need all the reaction videos, and I had all of them send me videos. And I'm not on TikTok or whatever, but they send me like people's group reactions, and it is crazy.
I stayed off because I knew you were coming out. I didn't want to spoil anything for me or anything. So I stayed off, and I just watched fresh. And dude, it was a roller coaster. You made me so nervous. It was unbelievable. But also, by the way, your acting was crusher, buddy.
Thank you.
Because you're writhing around screaming, and I thought, because they're burning the Demogorgon, and then you posted this.
Oh, yeah. So this was actually on the day when I was screaming. I was screaming so much that day that I actually popped all the blood vessels in my face and my body. And this has never happened before. I was like, oh my God, I think I'm going too far.
How long were you screaming?
Like, it's so funny because they cut it. I'm like, oh, it's 3 seconds in the shower. And I was there.
I was screaming for 4 hours.
They had me there for like 2 hours. Ah! Like, I'm like, guys, you couldn't have extended it a little bit?
A little.
I called a doctor freaking out, like, oh my God, am I dying? And they're like, no, this is so common. This happens to women in labor. And I was like, oh, of course.
Congratulations.
Actually, that's, So we went, oh my God, I had a tendency to go overboard with the stunts this season, because with Derek, when I'm going to tackle him, they were like, no,
he's fantastic.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
Kudos.
Yeah. He's so good.
But with him, when I was running, they were like, okay, so you're gonna run, go full force, and then just stop halfway. Don't commit. And I was like, so stop in the air? Like, how does that work? So then I commit, obviously, and I run, and I accidentally like pinned him down to the ground. He scraped, like his whole leg was bleeding, and it's this little boy. I was like, oh my God, I can't. I hurt him. Oh my God, and he rises out of the hay, and he's like, it's okay, Mr. Noah. I feel like Tom Cruise doing my own stunts. And I was like, he's the cutest. He is the cutest, but man, some of those stunts,
cute. You have your own signature move for when you use your powers.
Yes.
Different than 11.
Yeah, so actually it was originally supposed to just be this, but eventually we learn that it kind of comes like differently. It comes from Vecna. So I kind of wanted to make sure that it's showing like him siphoning this energy out of him. And it was fun. Like all this even with the demo vision where my eyes roll back and I'm going like this, like all these moments, they're not explicitly written, like eyes roll back, collapses, twitches when he's stitching channels. Like, you kind of get to just play. So I was like, had the best time with the Duffers being like, what if we did this? What if we did that? I love Spider-Man. And it felt like a little when I like outstretched my hand up. Like, it just was so fun.
They just let you do that and they go
and that is one thing about them, like, they will put full trust in all of us, and it's so special. I text them nonstop, like, guys, I know I've texted you 400,000 times, but thank you so much. Like, this is so special for me, and like I've like dreamed of having stuff like opportunity like this, and it was, like it's such a dream.
Dude, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that you're so grateful. But even the eyes, even your eyes, like
the eyes, and then later in the season, like there's just some stuff where it's like, how do you do this? Like, what? And so I was just like, I would channel animals a lot. So like with the trying to not show this like sweet baby Will. I
You're
would
different, not baby
like
Will.
pound on my chest and like make myself feel like a 6,000-pound gorilla, and I would hoo and huff and puff and like
Yes!
like you don't see like this little baby boy in there.
No, I
So,
did not.
like,
It's a whole new
dude,
character.
I had a blast doing that stuff.
Can I ask about the bloody
And then the blood. Oh, like,
Dude, you've
oh
got
my
the-
God, that take also, by the way, was.
When you go-
I was like, okay, this is the volume finale. We have to perfect this. We'll be here all night. Like, let's get comfortable. This is gonna be take 100. We do one take, and I run into the tent to watch it with Ross, and we both look at each other like, that's it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Check. We're done. And it was just like a first one-take wonder, and like.
That was a one-take wonder.
Oh my God, I was
Wiping
like,
the blood from
I
your
videoed
nose.
it on my phone for the year, and I would like play it on different Spotify scores to be like, oh, how does it sound with this score? Like, maybe we do
Oh my
this
God.
on that moment. They're like, no, we got it. Like, relax.
I thought it'd be kind of fun if we could maybe show everyone what that looks like in real time.
Oh, we're doing it for real.
I actually have fake blood.
Oh. Okay.
If you wanted to maybe see if we can do one-take wonder here.
Okay.
So, all right, what do we have to do? Should we
Can
set
we get
Ruth,
a little?
Ruth, should we set the
can
mood?
we get a little like score going?
Yeah. All right. So I'll.
So which camera am I looking into?
Or which you're gonna look at
This
camera
one.
3. All right. So I'll get out of the way.
So you're gonna put it up my nose.
Yes. All right. So I'm gonna squirt and walk away.
Squirt it up there. Okay.
Wait.
Got it?
No. Jimmy, stop moving. Stop moving.
Okay.
All right. Good. Go.
I like it.
Too much blood. No, it wasn't. Perfect. It was a perfect amount of blood. That's how you do it right there. I want to show everyone a clip. Spoiler warning if you haven't watched yet. Here's Noah Schnapp in Volume 1 finale of Stranger Things 5. Take a look. That's what I'm talking about! Noah Schnapp, Stranger Things 5 Volume 1 is streaming now on Netflix.